Sam Logue here for IrishBoxing.com. Delighted to be joined by Thomas Carty here. Thomas, how's it going, man?
All good, bro. All good. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too, man. Good to see you. We're down here at 1010 on Shannon Road.
Best coffee around, bro.
Yeah, one of Thomas's sponsors. So we expecting a few quid in the post now off your 1010, yeah?
Time. 2 brown envelopes.
That's it. Yeah, man, it's been a while. Obviously, look, we've a few things to catch up on, but it's I suppose the most recent thing, unfortunately, was you were supposed to fight on Michael Conlan's undercard there in the SSC Arena about 2 weeks ago. Unfortunately, the fight fell through. What, on the day of, or 2 days before, or the day before?
The day of.
The day of.
Yeah.
Talk us through it, man. What happened?
I'm not really too sure. I found it very hard to get an opponent to begin with, so I think I had a record of about 7 or 8 opponents between announcing 3 weeks out and the fight itself. It was very hard to get a last minute opponent. I'd say for a couple of reasons. I'm not too sure exactly why, but it was hard to get anyone locked in anyways. Got a couple of people locked in, they pulled out. Eventually we found a guy who was willing to take the fight, and as far as I know, then in the end he just pulled out. Not too sure exactly what happened in the background. I know it happens all the time in boxing, but I can't even tell you exactly what happened, to be completely honest. So yeah, devastated, because I was really looking forward to. A lot of people from Dublin travelled up, and from all over the country travelled up and sold a load of tickets. Was really looking forward to a homecoming. Haven't boxed in Ireland in years, you know what I mean? And
well, that's it, like,
first time as a professional. So there was a lot going into it, but it is what it is. The goal remains the same, I suppose, so we just push on from here. Yeah,
well, that's the thing, like, you must have been devastated, because it was that opportunity to kind of fight in front of your own fans. Belfast is like not even 2 hours away from Dublin now, and like it's so close. But yeah, we were devastated to see that you fell off the card on such short notice as well. I'd say all your fans were as well.
Yeah.
But like, what's next for you? Like,
anything, you know what I mean? Absolutely anything. I'm ready all the time. So my management team are already working on it at the moment, trying to get me a date secured. So I'm ready to go whenever. Anybody that knows me knows I train all the time. It's not a case of you know, when will you be ready. I'm ready to go whenever, you know. So as soon as we get a date, I'll get it announced, and we'll start building up some momentum again. But there's
nothing kind of set in stone at the moment. The management team hasn't told you.
In terms of set in stone, no. But there's a couple of avenues, a couple of different dates and avenues we can explore. We'll see what suits best. I'd like to fight twice before the end of the year.
Yeah.
Definitely once before the end of the year, but I'd like to fight twice. So we're just trying to space out things to make sure it all runs in conjunction with each other and doesn't clash, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Looking back on that card in the SSE, it was obviously a big card, kind of full of Irish boxers. It would have been a great opportunity for you to kind of showcase yourself, maybe to your home fans as well, and to the Belfast fans, like, more locally. Is there kind of a knock-on effect mentally for kind of having not then performed on that card? Do you kind of, is there regret, or like, what kind of happens when your opponent falls out on the day? Like, how did you then deal with that? Is it just like, oh, whatever happens, or was there a bit more of a...
it was a big letdown, to be honest. No big deal now, but it's a bit of an emotional roller coaster, you know.
Yeah.
You're geared up for a fight, you're ready to fight. Anybody that fights, you know what I mean, has fought professionally or in the amateurs, you know, the night before, you do the whole sleep the night before a fight, get up, have your breakfast. You know, the fight didn't fall through for me until about 4 o'clock, so I had done 90% of the nerves. You know, everybody gets nervous and everybody, you know, goes through the fight in the head. I've done 90% of it without getting the outlet of having a fight, so it was a big letdown. It left you feeling quite deflated, but it is what it is, part of the game. And as Jamie explained to me, you know, Jamie's a really top guy. We had a chat on the day, and then we actually met the next morning. We had a chat the next morning. It happens, you know what I mean? It happens in boxing. It's, you know, I was surprised and I was let down, but I've seen it happen before. Not the first it's happened to. Definitely won't be the last it's happened to. It is what it is, you know. Even Pascal was saying, I think Steve Collins was due to fight years ago against some guy in Japan, due to defend his world title, and the whole card fell apart at the weigh-in, you know what I mean? So it happens, you know, from the top to the bottom and everywhere in between. It happens. It is what it is, and it's just another obstacle, you know. And a lot of people have been getting on and saying, just a lot of people close to me that I've been chatting over the last couple of weeks since it's happened, have been saying, you know, everything happens for a reason, and I do truly believe that as well. So it wasn't meant to be. If it's not meant to be, no big deal, on to the next.
That's it. You're obviously not tied to a promoter as such, but you're managed by DALYMOUNT and his team. Is there would there be possibility of fighting on a Conlan boxing show again in the future, or is there any kind of promoters that you're looking to work with going forward?
Listen, whatever's best for me and whatever my management team thinks is best for me. The way the show came about with Belfast, it was brilliant, you know what I mean? It's an awful pity I didn't get the fight, and it's something I'd definitely be interested in doing again in the future. Jamie's really easy to work with, he's very easy to work with, very professional, and I think him and my team got on very well. Communication was great, so it is something that I would be considering doing again in the future. I'd be honoured to do again in the future, you know? But like that, no, I'm not signed with any promoter for now, and I think it's probably going to stay like that for a while, to be honest.
Cool.
It worked for Dilly, and I can't see it won't work for me, you know?
Yeah, 100%, especially if he's involved in actually guiding your career.
Of course.
Yeah, so let's move on slightly. This weekend, like I'd be remiss to not get your opinion on this fight. We've got Usyk Joshua 2 this weekend. Obviously, we know that you've sparred Joshua in the past.
Yeah.
So you kind of know him. You maybe have a bit of insight into his game and stuff. But how do you see this one going? I think a lot of people think that it's a very, very tough task for Joshua second time around. But how do you see this one going?
It's a tough one, you know. It's a really tough one to call. Personally, I haven't spent time with Joshua. Haven't sparred him previously. I think Joshua's going to do the business. I think after bringing Robert Garcia into his training camp, you know, switching up things, changing location, I really think he's a lot more in the frame of mind, that killer frame of mind this time round, you know. So my own prediction for the fight, I think Joshua will do him early. That's how I see it going. I think I see him going early, you know. I've seen him at the weigh-in there today, 10 kilo difference. You know, people say it doesn't matter and stuff like that, but if Joshua utilises his advantages that he has, it should be a no contest, should be over early, as far as I can see. You know, he's too big, too strong, he has the reach, you know, really good technical skills as well. Like, people underestimate, because he's up against a pound for pound great. Usyk is amazing at what he does. Yeah. But Joshua, you know, he's not Olympic champion, world like, you don't win those by fluke, you know what I mean? People say hype train this and stuff about Joshua, they don't know anything about boxing, you know. And I see a lot of it online. People say Joshua has no heart. Like, any boxer that steps in the ring has heart, you know what I mean? If someone didn't want to fight, they wouldn't be fighting anymore, because it's not easy, and it's very easy for people on YouTube and Twitter to say, you know, oh, his head's not in anymore, or he doesn't have the heart in anymore, he doesn't have that killer instinct. People don't know what they're talking about. You know, unless you've fought before, you actually shouldn't be entitled to an opinion. You know, everybody will say something online, but they don't know. You know, boxing's not easy. You know, if you're not up for it, it's very hard to make that walk to the ring. You know, very hard to do that training camp, those tough rounds. So you wouldn't be doing it, you know,
especially at that level where
bro, this is
heavyweights at the very top, when you can really get hurt.
People don't realise this is Premier League boxing, you know. This is the Premier League of Champions League. So, like, if someone loses Champions League final, are they a shit team? No, they're not a shit team. They could probably win it the next time round, you know what I mean? It's the only analogy I can think of using, to be honest, at the moment. It's a good one, I guess. You know, if someone is a runner-up in a Champions League final, are they shit? No. Then why in boxing, when someone fights for a world title and they lose, do people jump on the bandwagon and call them shit? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a good point,
It's outrageous. If you put an opinion like that on Twitter, you should be made come to a venue and back it up against the person you've made the comment against, and see what they say. Would they turn up? No, they wouldn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That'd be a good one. Yeah, I can actually see a potential TV show there. Twitter trolls. Yeah. That'd be a good one.
Yeah, we should do it like an Irish boxing version of that. We'll host the Irish
absolutely, and see would any of the trolls turn up, because they wouldn't turn up. Definitely not.
Well, they wouldn't turn up if they were abusing you, Thomas. They wouldn't turn up after seeing this clip.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
That's brilliant. Just like from a technical perspective, I'm interested in kind of myself personally, in kind of how does Joshua get it done? Like, what does he actually have to do in terms of like a technical breakdown of how he has to go about the fight? In your, you know, as best you can, how do you think he has to actually go about the fight? How do people say things like, oh, stick it on him, use your weight, but that's so vague. Like, what do you actually mean by that? And that's where people get caught out, or that's where I think you can catch people out, where people are shy talking. Like, what do you actually mean by that? So can you
put your weight on him? Push him back.
Like,
no,
what does that fucking mean?
I seen Badou Jack, who's fighting on the undercard.
He is not.
He made a great point during the week. He said, if you let Usyk breathe, he's going to run away with the fight. So I think Joshua needs to get close, get on top of him, utilise his weight, you know, his reach, his height. He's the bigger man. He needs to make Usyk feel those extra 10 kilos is a lot of weight, you know what I mean? Make Usyk feel that not make it comfortable for him and give him space, because if you give him space, he's a master technician, you know, so he needs to make it awkward, rough, you know what I mean, needs to shove him about the ring, throw him off a small bit, because, you know, my style, obviously sometimes I get brought in to emulate, you know, the likes of Usyk or slick southpaws from my style. If someone's pushing and pulling, you know, it's very hard to compose yourself to let off those slick shots and the good exits and stuff like that, you know what I mean? So I think he needs to make it ugly, you know. I really think Josh is going to do the business tomorrow. You know, I think he's had enough time to prepare. He knows how it's, you know, it's no surprise, they fought already. He knows what he has to do. And I hope he gets the business done. But listen, as we said, Usyk, potential pound for pound great, you know what I mean, master technician. We've never seen anything. He's an anomaly in the heavyweight division. We've never seen anything like him before in the heavyweight division, I don't think, personally. So I'm looking forward to seeing how it plans out tomorrow. And I do think Joshua will be 3-time world champion tomorrow, and that we'll get to see Joshua Fury next year. Be great. Yeah. Well, let's touch on that then briefly. Like, Tyson Fury has kind of almost more officially retired recently, with kind of relinquishing the Ring Magazine belt and all. What do you make of the whole Fury thing? I mean, he's coming out announcing Usyk Lowe as his trainer, then he's saying he'll fight for 500 million, sorry, then he's saying he'll only fight if it's for free, and he gives all the money to charity, and like every day a new thing, and it all seems to kind of be around, like Eddie Hearn makes this point, but if you do look, you kind of think, oh well, actually probably he's right, he tends to pipe up when Joshua's fighting. So like, what do you make of all Fury's antics, and do you think he's actually retired, or what do you make of it? I don't think he's retired at all, no. Personally, I don't think he's retired. He's a very, very intelligent, smart guy. There's obviously reasons why he's saying what he's doing. He's using them as bargaining tools or pawns in the grand scheme of things. Not too sure exactly what he's doing, but he's not retired as far as I'm concerned. Even if he comes back and does, you know, fights Thor or one of these guys, I don't think he's finished fighting. Definitely not at the peak of his career. You know,
that's a good point. I wanted to ask you about Dillian Whyte and Tyson Fury, because I haven't seen you since. What did you make of Dillian's? We had a little Instagram live, like, didn't we, on like the day of the fight?
Yeah, I was on my way actually.
Dillian obviously put up a good fight. It tried his best, but kind of just couldn't get it off on the day. What did you make of the fight?
Like I said, bro, we just said this about Joshua and Usyk. You know, Dillian Whyte as well is part of that league of elite heavyweight fighters, and it is what it is. Sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it doesn't, and just didn't click for him on the night. It is what it is. Doesn't make him a bad fighter. Fury just came out the better man on the night. Definitely.
Actually, just thinking about Joshua, just going back and just a bit off the cuff here, Johnny, do you hear all this talk of Johnny Nelson saying, I don't know if he said he should retire or he will retire after he if he loses. But what do you make of all that kind of talk? Like, Joshua has unequivocally come out and said he's not retiring no matter what happens. He has loads of years left in the game, blah blah blah, and I think, like, fair play to him and agree with him. He's good, he's getting better, he's young, he's fit, fair play to him, keep going. What do you make of all that?
I don't want to go and say anything against Johnny Nelson because, you know, it's very hard. Like, I've seen a couple of comments this week saying he'd beat Usyk in his prime and stuff like that. I'm not going to say he wouldn't and stuff. You know, I let the public and everybody else form their own opinion. I have my opinion, but you know, it's not your place to be making comments like that about retirement. Although I do think people took him a bit out of context. There was still, you know, no smoke without fire. He still said what he said. People are taking him a bit out of context. I've seen the Del Boy Chisora interviews with him and stuff, where the guys are giving out that haven't even watched the interview. I've seen it, like, you know, I don't agree with what he said, but listen, everybody has an opinion, you know, everyone has an opinion, so I don't actually want to voice my opinion on it at all, to be honest.
Fair enough. What about the whole thing that Usyk is an average southpaw?
Yeah, I still can't get over that. I'm
not even sure if he knows what he means.
No,
do you know what I mean?
Like, it's just downright disrespectful. An average southpaw. He's top 3 best southpaws ever, as far as I'm concerned. You know what I mean? Right now, as it stands, never mind how many more fights he has. You know?
It's a peculiar thing to say, isn't it? Like, and I think it's a language issue. Like,
somebody said language issue, or very, very smart marketing, because somebody said he says he makes these bold statements to stay relevant, and here we are talking about Johnny Nelson. You know,
fair enough.
Had he not said these comments, would anybody be speaking about Johnny Nelson right now? No. So you know, he's either really, really silly or very, very smart.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Fair enough.
I think that's what I think.
Yeah, no, because he has a record of a few crazy statements, alright, doesn't he?
And it stays relevant. People talk about him then, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a good point. Something that popped into my head there that I seen, I think on Twitter maybe yesterday. You're putting your name in the hat for the commentary position for Eric Donovan's fight on TG Carr.
Number one candidate. Like, who else are they going to pick? The best looking boxer in Ireland. You know what I mean? A heavyweight. I can speak fluent Irish. You know what I mean? I have it all. Why wouldn't they have me? You know, head of house there. I'd run the whole thing. Sean Bon Brannock retweeted it. You know what I mean? He's the go. If he's retweeting, like, who else is it to impress? You know what I mean?
Okay, so what are your chances of actually getting on that broadcast? Like, do you think they're realistic?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, who else are they going to pick?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Someone that's boxed, someone that's fluent in Irish. You know what I mean? Someone that knows Eric. You know,
you're not the worst talker ever, are you?
No, I'm not the worst talker in the world. You know what I mean? So it's a no-brainer. It's their loss. Listen, it's their loss. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I'll get them to speak to my agent, but it's their loss if they don't. I'll be there regardless in the suit. You know what I mean? So they might as well throw me in.
Absolutely. Quick word on Gary Cully signing with Matchroom yesterday. It was announced.
Yeah, Gary really deserves it. No surprise. You know what I mean? No surprise. You know, it's one of the best boxing prospects in the world. Imagine being able to say that, in the world. So
yeah,
no surprise. He's with the best promotional outfit then to back it up. So whatever Gary gets, he deserves. That's as far as I can see it. That's why I texted him last night. It's no surprise. If anyone deserves it, it's Gary. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can do. You know, I'm really looking forward to seeing how his journey goes now going forward, because, you know, as far as I can see, there's some really big cards I can get on the undercard of. So cheers, Gary.
Well, that's exactly what I wanted to say as well. Like, he has Cavan, he has Gary now, and you obviously have an affiliation with Matchroom through Dillian as well. So is it that, are you kind of eyeing that up now, saying like maybe they're going to use this trio, the young, slick, kind of good prospect Irish lads kind of coming through all together, so absolutely, you could kind of piggyback off them being signed by Matchroom in a sense? Of course,
yeah. The two lads bring a big card to Belfast or Dublin or wherever they want to bring it, and I'll bring the troops. Don't worry, I'll bring my crew.
100%. So last thing I want to ask you about is the Irish title. It's still something that you really want. Is there any progress in terms of an opponent who you could fight for it? Any word?
No.
Let's think outside the box here, man.
No.
Is there anyone that you could? Is there anyone you would like to fight for it? Is there anyone that you could fight for it? I know Sean Turner was piping up recently, wasn't he? About coming back.
Yeah, I fight all of them. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, genuinely, there's no one I wouldn't fight for it.
Is there anyone that you think would be the best fight for that title? Is there anyone that would excite you?
To be honest, as far as I can see, the Irish title is waiting on me. I just need to go collect it. I need to fight someone to get it. You know what I mean? So, you know, I don't want to start pursuing other titles before getting the Irish title. That's why I have my eyes set on. Then we go Celtic title. You know, I think you fight someone Welsh or Scottish, then Big Nick Campbell. Yeah, to be a good fight. Big Nick, you know, Scottish champion versus Irish champion. There's a good card. You know what I mean? We'll bring it to DALYMOUNT for the Celtic title and make sure Nick gets his few bob. You know, Nick gets looked after for the Christmas. So then I'll be Irish champion, Celtic champion, and then we'll pursue. Then, you know, we'll go the regular route then, what everyone else does after they have the British title in England. You know, we'll go down that road. Maybe. Yeah, European maybe, and then up the ranks. But as far as I can see, I want to take care of domestic business first. I've no beef with anybody, none at all. We'll fight any of them. You know, anybody that wants to pipe up and say they want to fight for it, no problem. I'll entertain it, but only if it's realistic. I'm not into, you know, keyboard warfare. I won't be going back and forth to anybody. If you want to fight, we can definitely make it happen, because I want it. You know, everybody knows I want to fight for the Irish title. It's finding someone else then that wants to fight for the Irish title. So if anybody wants to fight for, you know, contact my management team and we'll entertain and we'll make sure it's worth your while.
100%, man. That's what we love to hear as well, and hopefully we can get something over the line
in DALYMOUNT. In DALYMOUnt,
man. That's some shout as well. I like that.
Yeah, bro. You know, why not? This is the thing. Why not? My own show, Irish title, is big enough. Like, you know, if I fought on the card, you wouldn't even need many people on the undercard because it'd be sold out. Yeah. You know, especially for an Irish title. What would DALYMOUNT hold, roughly? I'm not too sure what way they do it. You know what I mean? Because maybe just the Jody stand, and the Des Kelly stand, and then the seats on the pitch, probably. And a few seats on the pitch, and just because I've seen it show me in them before where it was just one stand looking to the ring on the pitch. You know what I mean? Because obviously you can't use the whole stadium because you can't use stands and stuff like that. So not too sure how it would go, But it's
Get 4,000 in there, would you?
yeah, 4,000 or 5,000 sold out in a lie. Don't tickets be on StubHub straight away.
That's class, man.
Yeah.
Listen, that is the dream. Like, even it's only down the road from my gaff as well. I would absolutely love that, man, and I'd love that for
100%.
you. Before I let you go, that's a lovely little packet there you have on your steering wheel. Open that up for me.
Open up, right? Okay. Yeah, of course you're going to try and plug your merch down in my interview, yeah? Boxing Ireland. No,
what do you think of that? That's a little gift for you, man.
Top of the range.
Yeah.
Boxing Ireland, thank you very much, lads.
IrishBoxing.com. We've just done a deal with X Gear to be our official merchandise supplier, official apparel supplier. These t-shirts and tracksuit tops are going on sale pretty soon. Are you happy with your t-shirt?
Delighted, bro. Delighted. I'm just waiting to get paid now for advertising it.
Cheers. Thomas, thanks very much for talking to IrishBoxing.com, man. We appreciate it, and we'll chat to you very soon.
Always a pleasure, bro. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, man.